Hello everyone, welcome back to Time Out. I'm Dee, and happy Eid Mubarak to my Muslim brothers and sisters, by the way. Okay, so I'm not trying to chase clout, right? So my father was Muslim, and I think I can still recite like some of the Islamic prayers because as a kid, I mean, it was routine to learn Arabic. So I don't really remember a lot, but I can still recite some of the prayers. So happy Eid Mubarak to my Muslim brothers and sisters. I wish you all the very best of everything you wish yourselves. So anyway, today we're going to be talking about the power of lies. Me and my curiosity, right? Like, I try to get to the bottom of stuff. What it is like I've been saying, it's like when you put yourself on a journey, journey to becoming a better version of yourself. So I mean, that's what I've been doing, and in doing certain things, I have to dig deep and see why certain behaviors are formed. So I mean, this videos most of the time is just really to carry people along on this journey, because some people are trying to do this as well, and sometimes we just all need to encourage each other. So that's the whole point of it. So anyway, so I mean, so I realized I was trying to stop some certain things. I mean, everybody has, I can have, I mean, sometimes when I like something a bit too much, I don't want to call it, I won't say like maybe I like an addictive behavior, but when I like something so much, I can, like coffee for instance, I can take coffee like 10 times a day, and everybody's always complaining. And sorry, I had to wear a face cap today to hide the circles under my eyes. It's been one of those insomniac nights in my life. Anyway, so we're talking about the power of lies. I lost my train of thought for a minute, but back to the main topic. So we all tell lies, and like I said, being on this journey, I've been trying to stop some things, and then I realized that just trying to get to the bottom of it, like, okay, for me to stop taking so much coffee, I have to stop this. So that sort of thing. So for me to stop certain behaviors, how do I get to the root of it that I can stop it? And so we're looking at lies today. So I realized that pretty much if without lies, you can actually avoid a whole lot of other behaviors. But let's get into it. So anyway, so like I said, we all tell lies. I mean, just little white lies. Sometimes it's just to cover up for ourselves. Like mine would be, I'll call you back. Sometimes I do intend to call back, sometimes I don't. But I think, like I said, being on a journey and trying to improve certain things. So I mean, most of the time, the reason why we tell lies, really, I mean, if you really want to dig deeper and get to the bottom of it, because telling lies is actually prompted by a sense of selfishness, really. I mean, it's like when you have a desire to obtain something you would normally lose. Am I making sense? Sometimes it's as small as like an argument. You don't want to lose that argument, and so you just want to embellish it just a little bit. So you just throw in something like it's this, just to make your story sound more plausible. So sometimes it's as small as an argument. So most of the time we lie out of selfish reasons. Not all the time, but most of the time we lie out of selfish reasons. But one thing I realize is that we're actually oblivious to what lies is, or the damage it actually really does. Because I mean, there's a reason why out of most of the things in the Bible, God said lies is abominable. Do you understand? Like, that was the only thing God actually likened to the devil. He said, like, Satan is the father of lies. Like, if you tell lies, you're definitely the child of the devil. I mean, it's that grievous, and there's a reason why it's that grievous compared to other sins. I mean, all sins are supposed to be big sin, small sin, it's all sins, right? But why is lying such like a grievous sin? Like, do you understand? So sometimes we don't look at, because the truth is, what I actually discovered is that if you want to stop a lot of bad behaviors or whatever it is, just stop lying. You know how that is. Okay, let me explain something. Okay, so for instance, if you're a smoker or you're like a compulsive drinker, you can't do that at work, right? At most jobs, I mean for some jobs, yes, there's like a smoking section and you can go and smoke, but most of the time, if you're female, you really don't want to be doing that in front of people, right? I'm just saying, or male, or whatever it is, or you do like some hideous deal or whatever on the side, and people don't know about it, and it's like maybe some sort of like it's something fraudulent or whatever it is, and obviously you don't want to tell people. Now the thing is, if you don't lie, if you stop lying completely, and people ask you like, what do you do? Oh, do you do anything else? You can't lie. So what happens is that when you actually stop lying, it curbs a lot of other bad behaviors. I think maybe for me, I feel like maybe that's why it's so grievous. Like lying is such a big deal. And then, you know, like I said, like I'm a curious person, so I always try to dig deep. So I dug a little deeper into lies and just see what sort of damage it really does, and why God hates it so much, and why it's such a big deal and such a big sin, and you have to be likened to the devil if you're such a liar. So apart from the fact that I know that when you do stop lying, it curbs almost everything else. So you're unable to do anything else because you're unable to lie about it. Do you understand? So anyway, so yeah, I wanted to, so I dug deeper. So here's what I discovered. Every word that comes out of our mouth sets in motion an atmospheric it sets in motion some sort of atmospheric vibrations. Like, okay, everything is vibration, right? So I'm speaking to like we say in religion it's called spirits, in science it's called vibrations, on the street it's called vibes, right? So I'm speaking scientifically now. Everything is vibrations. Do you understand? Okay, so let me go in the Christian way, right? Every word is a spirit. If you look somewhere in 1 Kings, I think 22, something about Jehoshaphat, the king and everything, and God said, I will put a lying spirit in the mouth of the prophets. So every word is a spirit, basically. So every word in science is vibrations. Let's put it that way. On the street, every word is vibes, because people can give you bad vibes with the stuff they say, like, oh, you know, you're in company of people and they're talking about certain things you're not very comfortable with, and it just gives you bad vibes. Do you understand? So so that's how it is. So every word sets in motion some sort of atmospheric vibrations. So okay, so let's put it that way. So if you're not in any tradition, and you're like maybe like a traditional person, okay, like, and you go to maybe a botanica or a practitioner or a spiritualist or whatever it is, and they give you something, and or whatever it is, and they say, oh yeah, say something to this thing and something would happen. Now whatever it is they're giving you has some sort of spirit, whether good or bad or whatever it is, behind it, right? Okay, so this is deep, and I hope I do have clearance to talk about something like this on air. But your words, I mean, every word is creation. If you go back to the source, which is for Christians, if you go back to the source, which is at the beginning, Genesis 1, in the beginning was the word was with God. And if you notice somewhere around Genesis, first Genesis 2 or something, it says the world was without form. So there was nothing, there was no form, there was no shape, there was nothing. And then when you get to the next verse, which is 3, it says God said. So he created with his word. So every word creates. It's there's some form of creation. So when we say things, there's creation happening, you know. So it forms some sort of atmosphere around whatever it is that's being said. It's like a coat, it's like a cloak, right? I don't know if I'm making any sense. Okay, so yeah. So sorry, like I say, I need to gather my thoughts, and I made a few notes. So like, yeah, as I was saying, so if you go to like a practitioner or like a botanica, or you do some sort of brujeria, and I don't know, you know, whether good or bad or whatever it is, and they give you whatever it is, and you're supposed to speak, right? Now the difference between just speaking and holding something and speaking, because it's still the words that goes into creation. So the difference is that Like, for instance, okay, let me give an example. Like, if you're with a group of people, right, and maybe you're thirsty or whatever it is, and you want water, and then you say to, okay, maybe one of them is, they're your friends, so you say, oh, Jane, please, can I have a cup of water? Do you understand? Or can I have some of your water, whatever it is? Because you called Jane by name, she's actually obliged, so to speak, as a friend, to give you some of that water, right? So it's almost like, now imagine you're with a group of people, but you don't know any of them. You say, does anybody have water? Even when they feel like, okay, I need my water later, whatever, they're not really obliged to actually give you. They might eventually, maybe if one of them feels bad or whatever it is, but there's no obligation, there is no loyalty behind it. I don't know how to explain it. So anyway, I think that's the best way I can. So, like, for instance, if you now go to like a botanical or a practitioner, or you do some from a burhidia, whether good or bad, I'm not here to judge. I don't know your life, So anyway, I'm not judging. But what I'm saying is, if they do give you something or whatever it is, and what it is it's the word that is still in creation. It's the word that you will speak. The difference is that whatever it is you're given, because you're calling its name, like it's now. See, your words are still vibrations, are still spirits. Now, whatever it is you're giving is still vibration, is still some sort of spirit, or whatever it is. Now, if you call it by name, it makes it faster. That's when it's called magic. So it makes it like, but when you pray, it's an intention for something good. So you're sending out vibrations. So it will take time for the natural flow of the universe to change things around. Does it make sense? As opposed to you actually sending something else that you're calling by name to go and do something. So it's still the same thing. It's still spirits in creation. It's still words in creation. It's still vibrations in creation. Whatever it is you want to call it. In like I said, in science, it's called vibrations. In Christianity, it's called spirit. So it's the same thing. It's still the same vibrations that is in creation. It's in motion. It's in creation. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, so so that's how it is. It's still something. And people use these things because it's actually an entity. It's actually vibrations. You can change people's destiny, and that's how you do this. And I think that's why it's really a grievous thing, because imagine someone that is lying against someone. What you're doing is putting whatever entity it is on top of that person to cover that person. So that's what people start to see. So if somebody says, oh, this man is a wife beater or whatever it is, that's a lie, and that's what people start to see. It's already covering that person. So it's covering their real self, and then it's lying is like so grievous, because in my local dialect it says, like, if you lie you would steal. And initially I used to think that not everybody lies in some way, shape or form, but not everybody steals. But actually, you're a thief, because what you're stealing is that person's will to. If you lie against somebody, you're stealing the person's will to live life as their authentic self. Now, they can't be themselves because people are seeing them as something else or somebody else that they're not. So you're stealing that person's will in life. So that's your willpower. And if there's anything about God, he likes free will. God will never force you to do anything. So he's that person of free will. So when you start to take away people's will, and you lie against them or something, so you're taking away their will to be their authentic self. That's why God hates it so much. So that's why it's so bad, like lying. And if you're not lying to somebody, not even against somebody, like you're lying to someone, like, oh, this happened and that happened, what you're stealing from that person, because what you're actually doing to that person is you're fragmenting that person's spirit. And how does this work? Fragmentation, like broken in pieces. Because if you're lying to the person that, oh, this happened, that happened, and the person knows that, for instance, you're saying to somebody that, oh, you see that your friend, or that your mother, or that your father, or that your person, or whatever it is, or that person is this and that person is that, or that your whatever it is, and the person the person they know is not like that. So now they're walking around with confusion, like with a hole in their head. Like literally they're confused, like, okay, so who is this person? Or who, do you understand? Or whatever it is, or do you understand? You're lying to somebody. What you're doing is fragmenting that person's spirit, because now the person is confused. Or you're lying to somebody, you're building fantasies to somebody. So that person, you're changing, I don't, it's really deep, and it's not, I don't believe, like I said before, I don't have clearance to talk about everything on air. But what I'm saying is, no, when I say clearance, is like I can't go too deep in certain topics. Like, that's what I mean. Okay, so so you're changing that person's will. So what you're doing is taking away people's will, to be themselves. Or so when you're lying to somebody, you're fragmenting the person's spirit, because now the person is in confusion, or will be in confusion. And you see, these things is karma. It's karma. All those things is just wrapping up karma for yourselves, which is why I spoke about karma last week, trying to explain it. So do you understand? So yeah, basically, so that's what lying is. And the truth is that somebody that lies can never, even when you pray, their prayers cannot be answered, because a liar cannot come into the presence of God. It's not so much because it's a sin, but it's not because it's even a sin. But the truth is that you see, the universe itself has a law, and the universe is held together by one law, and it's the truth. It's truth. So when you break that law, every time we break that law, it's like an injustice to the universe, so to speak. I don't know how to say it, because you're breaking you're breaking the world apart in bits. So how scientists have started to say that we're not kind to the universe, or I mean during the pandemic, again, may the souls of those that lost their lives rest in peace. So during the pandemic, at the same time, there were reports that even animals that people stopped seeing started to come out as well, because people were not on the streets. People, do you understand, were not dominating their space, so to speak, kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, so I'm sorry. Okay, so the universe itself is governed by truth. That's its own law. So it's put together by truth. So every time we break it, it's like we're breaking it. It's like saying that fire should not have heat, or the wind should stop blowing. So it's like we're going. So every time we tell lies, we're going against ourselves, so to speak. Because man is the highest form of creation. So we have to stay true to our, so it's like when you say fire should not have heat, or wind should stop blowing, it's like you're telling the elements to not stay true to their nature. So that's why the universe is governed by truth. All the elements have to stay true to their original nature. Like fire has to have heat, the wind has to blow, so the universe is governed by truth. Now, for every time we go against that, we're going against the universe. It's almost like we're going against ourselves, because we are the highest form of creation, even higher than the angels, higher than plants and seeds and animals and whatever it is. So as the highest form of creation, we have to stay to our true original nature, like the other elements as well, because so our original nature is to be able to discriminate between truth and lies. That's why there's justice. That's why there's a court of law. That's why we can't do certain things. It's not acceptable. So we're also governed by truth. So every time we tell lies, we're going against our nature, ourselves. That's why somebody that tells lies all the time, like after a while, they won't be able to tell the difference anymore between the truth and the lies they tell. And that's psychosis. Pretty much. That's psychosis. When you can't tell the truth again between fantasy and reality, because people don't know how deep it is. It's just like, I can tell lies, I can do this, I can do that, I can twist anything, and I'm such a, and you see the devil is the trick, oh my God, is that pathological liars feel very powerful. Like, I really feel like there's some kind of demigods, because I'm talking about like the real cold ass liars here, like them ones that can look you dead in the face and say, That woman, never seen her before in my life. And she's at home like, baby, Junior needs some Cerelac. You know, them ones that can look at you, like, lie to you, like, kill you and convince your spirit you're still alive. Like, them sort of pathological liars, right? And I'm not shaking any tables here, I'm just saying. Anyway, so yeah, so because they feel like they can twist anything and create illusions for people. Do you understand? They can turn anything around, they can change anything and twist. So it's a trick of the devil. So they feel very powerful. That's the thing. The more people can lie, you know, the colder they are to the repercussions of it. Do you understand? And it's all karma. And that's like changing people's destiny, literally. Like, because look at somebody that was lied on, like, for instance, telling people that maybe this person is like a white beat or a ritualist or a slut or whatever it is. Do you understand? Maybe people that can help people, a potential partner or whatever it is, do you understand, will run away. So that's the thing, they've changed that person's, you know, so it's creating illusions, and those things are literally, they're just karma. So think about it. So whilst they're so powerful and they're lying and twisting and creating illusions and doing all those things, yes, it works for a while. But then after a while, the horrible thing about lies is that you always have to tell more lies to cover up for the last one and tell more lies. And then after a while, reality and fantasy starts to intertwine. So you say some people, the truth is like, you know how some people, like, their entire lives is a lie. Like, their everything, even their houses is a lie. Their address is a lie. The name is a lie. Everything. Some people actually live like that. You know, and the truth is, you know, because it's all sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. So anyway, so the truth is that after a while, fantasy and reality starts to intertwine, and once that happens, that's psychosis. So they don't even know the difference between the truth and lies anymore. And a lot of people so when people display certain behaviors, some people are wondering, like, why is this person acting like this? But the truth is, psychosis and psychological issues is actually so overlooked by a lot of people. Now people are living in fantasies that they're not even certain if it's fantasy or reality anymore. And then you see people acting strange behaviors and you wonder, why are these people acting like they're crazy? Because they are crazy. Most of them are crazy. The truth is that some people, like, okay, look at like gang stalkers and people that create smear campaigns and lie. Like, you know how some people will tell a lie and you're like, what the you understand? Like, how the hell were you able to form something like that in your head, like against somebody or about somebody, or even just form that sort of elaborate lie? Do you understand? And you know how you look at some people is because a very large component of their consciousness is actually missing. They're waterheads. Do you understand? They have like a hole in their head. They're reprobate. Do you get? So that's how some people like can be dead cold, like do certain things and dead cold lie about it and keep up that lie for as long as it's crazy. It's madness. But you see, these people feel like they're very powerful, but the truth is that it's psychosis, because at that point a lot of people cannot tell the difference between the truth and lies anymore. That's why sometimes, you know, a lot of people tend to overlook mental health so much. Oh, and that's my new slogan, is the new wealth. It is the new wealth, because if you're in good mental stability, which you'd be surprised how many people are going through some sort of mental, like maybe depression, anxiety or something. It is, those things have aftermaths. Do you understand? It causes diseases, because what's a disease? It's a body that is not at ease. That's a disease. So when you're going through depression, it would start with depression and then go into blood pressure and go into other things, because everything starts to work. Do you understand? So if you're not in good mental space, you can't create, you can't do anything tangible or plausible for your life, you know. So that's how it is. And so a lot of people miss this point, you know. And you know, I mean, that's the genesis of lies. And the truth is that we're working against ourselves when we tell lies. That's the truth. That's what I discovered. It takes a lot. You know, the reason why we're even lying to other people, apart from being selfish, is because you're scared of the person. It's out of fear of rejection sometimes, like, because you're afraid that whatever it is you're saying would not be accepted if you're telling the truth. You understand? And another truth about lies is that it cannot hold up. Like I was saying before, somebody that is a liar cannot be in the presence of God. A lie cannot hold up, because if you enter a room and you turn on a dark room, right, and you turn on the light, it takes away the darkness, right? The darkness disappears. So darkness cannot hold up in light. So if somebody walks in their authentic truth, a lie can never hold up on them. I don't know if that makes any sense. So let me break it down into very simple terms, right? Like, if somebody is like really, really authentic and everybody knows that this person is like this person like that, forget it. This person is straight-laced or whatever. And somebody comes and says, oh, this person is collected bribe. This person is a bad person. This person is a this. It won't hold up, because guess what? Everybody knows that this person walks in their authentic truth. They don't care. They do it without fear of prejudice. So they would be themselves either way. They will tell the truth either way. Do you understand? So because they've been in situations where they could have died while telling the truth, but they will tell that truth. So when somebody comes to tell a lie, that cloak, that spirit, that garment cannot hold up. That's why sometimes it's even important for us to stay in our own authentic truth, as opposed to being clones. Oh, something's trendy, let everybody wear it, and then the whole entire place looks like clones. Do you understand? We can be ourselves. A lot of people are so afraid that being themselves, people will not accept them for who they are. Who cares? Who are they? They're not paying your bills. Do you? Do you understand? Be yourself. Be whatever you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. Do you understand? So be your authentic self, because that way, even people's lies cannot hold up on you. A lie cannot hold up where the truth exists. That's why the truth governs the universe. But anyway, my time is so far spent. So, adios. Have a lovely week. Have a lovely, lovely time. Remember, mental health is the new wealth. Do take care of yourself. Love you all. Bye. Namaste.